Now, Fallout 1 was pretty dope, alright? But Fallout 2? Oh, snap. Is it one heck of a sequel? I don't think I was ready to play Fallout 2, though. Playing Fallout 2 is like watching the announcement for Kingdom Hearts 3 while being trapped in a room with pins and needles. You just want to get up and say, "Praise the Lord!" But then the pins and needles, you're like, ugh!
Give me a kiss to build a dream on in my imagination.
Fallout 2 continues the story 80 years after you save your vault by finding the Holy Water Chip, which seems to be everywhere in the second game, like boxes and boxes of something you did horrible stuff to get. And that's why after you save your vault, they kick you right back out. I'm gonna take a wild guess and say it has something to do with the Overseer. After the first game's hero was cast out, the hero founded a small village in the canyons, and this is where the second game's hero starts. The game opens with a cutscene telling you are the chosen one, and you must go through a temple of trials to prove yourself worthy of the vault jumpsuit and pit boy. I like this whole primitive, peaceful village angle, proving yourself worthy in the trials to get some old dirty jumpsuit from the first game's hero. And I just hope they cleaned it well. And I'm not talking about splashing a little bit of water on it either, because if I was the guy from the first game going out into the wasteland for the first time, I'm sure I would have made stains in that jumpsuit that could not be scrubbed out. Anyways, your village is suffering from a drought and slowly dying because of it. Your goal is to find a GECK, a Garden of Eden creation kit, a terraforming device that can save the village. But just like the last one, Fallout 2 is not all about finding a rare item to save your homies back home. It's about the journey of traveling from town to town, getting tantalized with multiple plots while forgetting that you really should be finding the GECK to save your village. It's because the game makes you care about finding little Curtis's Mr. Nixon doll. But truth be told, just like in Fallout 1, Fallout 2 is still old school and sometimes frustrating to play, because the NPCs give you vague directions on where to find the next NPC to move forward in the quest. Sure, it's very realistic, but it's like trying to find Waldo, except Waldo is wearing the same thing everyone else is wearing. So yeah, you're forced to click on every person in town, but man, are you rewarded for it. The masterfully crafted dialogue that makes you believe the world you're in while constantly breaking the fourth wall to make you chuckle. I was just talking to Weedman, Jimmy, and Dragon Rider about why am I okay being forced to click on all these random NPCs to find the one I'm looking for. Weedman brought up an interesting point. What would be more immersive, having an arrow on the minimap or being told by the quest giver where to go and you find your way there? It's kind of like playing DayZ for the first time. You actually have to take a look at your surroundings, learn how each town looks like and where they are on the map. And once you do this in Fallout, the NPCs are not just backdrop anymore. You might actually care about their stories and feelings, all adding to that immersion that you just won't get with an arrow on a minimap. Yeah, it's time consuming, and I think I digested enough old school game design for the year, but I wouldn't change it. Because discovering where to go, stumbling upon quests, loot, and dynamic events on the way, it's an experience I like to take home and have babies with. They really know how to set the mood with an intro cutscene to get your eyeballs wet. And they stick with tradition. You feel like you're straight off the boat being tossed into the wasteland with only a stick to defend yourself. And no, combat hasn't changed much. You still have your stats, skills, and perks to pick, and stats still affect your character in major ways, like if your charisma is not at a certain level, you may not be able to bring any companions with you. Fallout 2 feels more like an expansion, with the clearest graphics being the same, the door opening, stair climbing animation still looking like you're trying to steal something. Now don't get me wrong, they added some good home improvements over the first game. Other than just more dialogue, towns, and quests, you get a hot rod. Let me tell you why it's the best feature. You no longer have to walk at a snail's pace on the map while getting tickled by every horny slaver in California. You can do hidden upgrades to it that'll get you bonuses like more miles per gallon. And you also have space to dump all the loot that you picked clean from all the dead bodies. You can finally properly control your companions, customize what actions to take in a fight, and also what weapons and armors to use, so you can play dress up, but sadly you won't be able to see it on your companions without some mods. I should probably get a mod to help them to stop walking into hazardous goop. Oh, and I saved the best for last. You know when you would get blocked by your companions very easily? In Fallout 1, I solved this problem by letting my companions die, because who needs friends? In Fallout 2, I kept them around, hooked them up with some power armor. What did they do? They door blocked me. I had to reload a few saves until halfway through the game I noticed that I could push them. In the beginning of the game, especially if you're a hardcore gunslinger, it's gonna be a bit boring because all you have is a dirty jumpsuit and a twig to slap enemies. So you're just gonna be trading blows back and forth for a long, drawn-out time. It's kind of like watching boxing. And it's almost like they're teasing you, because in the first game you get a pistol right away, but in Fallout 2, you don't have a gun for the first couple hours. You're up here passing by houses that have the word guns blasted on the side, and then you walk in just to find some rubber boots. It does add to the atmosphere of being alone and underpowered. You're even scared to go down into a cave just to kill some rats. I would say it retains its atmosphere that was so thick in the first game. Like each town having its own theme. In one town you had mutants and humans living happily together. But if you ask around, you might hear a different story. In another, kids were posted outside doors that would try to steal from you when you walk in. And in these towns, you make big decisions that would shape the outcome of the town at the end of the game. Like helping the people of MODOK reach a peaceful understanding with the Slags.
Relations between the Slags and the residents of MODOK flourished. Between the two peoples, MODOK prospered and became a major farming community, supplying all the outlying regions with food. And the outcome is determined by how much effort you put into the town. If you decide to help the White family find the truth behind his son's murder, then you would have gotten the quest to go to the army depot, which if completed, will change the outcome of the town. Plus, if you finish these Mafia family quests, you become a made man. And you can choose your own name. The Bull, Lefty, Eyebrows, Lumpy, Gooch. There's so much detail that just doesn't have to be there, but the fact that it is fantastic. Like if you tip the bartender a few times, he'll tell you about a secret weapons cache under someone's house that otherwise you would have never known because this lady is not very talkative. This is some of the many bits you can easily miss the first time you play, especially if you make different choices. Now you can totally go in there and blow her away, take the cash that way, but I never have the heart for such things. Though after you complete all the quests in the town, it really doesn't matter. The karma system in this game is just like the last one. In Fallout 1, it didn't really matter unless you went overboard. I killed the whole family and finished the game with a goody two-shoes guardian rank. In Fallout 2, it seems more of the same, which is fine with me. I just made this woman give up her life savings because I saved her husband and wanted payment. And because I want shinies, son. Sorry, later guns get really expensive and mama wants a new thingy to blast holes into people. It's so satisfying to do. And the combat is not necessarily fun, but if I can blow a piece off of somebody, I'm there.
For me, I can enjoy a game if the overall package is good. If you don't mind the smell of the old game design, the way the story unfolds, the way the level up system is intertwined with the gameplay, the atmosphere, the soundtrack that's just delicious. I've been listening to that Louis Armstrong track all week. If you're gonna play one of the two, I would recommend the second one. If you just wanted to get a taste of how old Fallout, where the roots came from, feels like, and if you got time, because you gotta have time, it's definitely worth a play. This review took too long. I'm not playing any more big games anymore.